Welcome, everybody. The gathering in quarantine is back, and it feels so good. Hi, Mike.
Hey, Terry, thanks for coming back.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. How was your break?
Oh, it was awesome. Thank
Yeah?
you. Thank you. Very nice. A little warm, but can't complain, because, come winter when the snow's up to here, we might be thinking about those nice hot days we had to get through.
Yeah, I
And I
tell you.
want to welcome all of the viewers, and I hope all is well with you and that everything's been well during this time. It's like every day things are changing, and you do your best to keep up, and I think everyone's hanging in there and making do. So, yeah, so it's been great. And we're coming up towards the end of summer.
Yep.
Right. But tonight it's going to be a stuffed dinner. Does that pique your curiosity?
I tell you, I was so excited when I saw the word stuffed dinner because I am thinking about those filling, like pleasure kind of comfort foods when I hear stuffed.
Right, right, right. And to hear a stuffed dinner, you might think, oh, I'm going to be stuffed when I'm done. Not so quick. But
Okay.
on tonight's menu, we're going to have cheesy stuffed tomatoes, bacon wrapped chicken breasts, stuffed chicken breasts, stuffed portobello mushrooms, and stuffed Pluots. So,
So what is a plout?
well, we'll get to that.
All right.
We'll
I need to
definitely
know.
get to that because that will be the third dish that we're going to prepare. But we're going to start with our bacon wrapped stuffed chicken breasts. Now, I have the oven preheated to 400 degrees because the chicken is going to cook at that. And then the next we're going to do is the portobello mushrooms, and that cooks at a 400-degree oven as well.
Okay.
So that works well. And
Perfect.
for the bacon wrapped stuffed chicken breasts, we have 2 chicken breasts. We have 4 slices of bacon, 2 ounces of cream cheese, a quarter cup of shredded cheddar cheese, 1 teaspoon of dried parsley. And I know I talk a lot about fresh parsley, and I love fresh parsley, but I'll tell
Right.
you, dried really kicks it up. And a quarter teaspoon of garlic clove chopped. So what we're going to do first is we're going to mix the stuffing. So I'm going to take my cream cheese, which is somewhat softened.
So like a room temperature?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm going to add the shredded cheddar.
Yep.
And I'll mix that up. And it should become like a spread, right? I'm going
Sure.
to add the parsley.
Now again, you're using the dried parsley because again, in this show here, we're showing meals that you can create within an hour.
Absolutely.
Yep.
But again,
And having foods you can have on hand.
yes, exactly.
Yep.
But if you have a bunch of fresh parsley, it doesn't take long to rinse it,
Sure.
chop it real quick, like garlic. Okay. And here's the garlic in here. So, and I can tell you, this smells really good already. And it's just the stuffing. It's not even cooked yet, right? So, as you can see, it's coming into a nice cream filling. And it smells great. It really does. I mean, it smells like it could be a dip, grab some chips, go to town, right?
Sure.
Okay, so I'm going to use my fork here and just incorporate that a little bit. Okay, that's good. So now what you want to do with your chicken breasts, okay, you're going to cut it on the length side to make a pocket. And you're going to be careful not to cut all the way through,
Right.
kind of like this. Okay. So that's a nice pocket. We'll fill it and fold it over like that. So that's why you want to cut it on the length side. Okay. So you cut it down and then kind of spread it open and try to fillet it a bit. You make a nice little pocket.
Do they
Taking
call
care.
that? Do they call that butterfly?
They
Is that
do.
another butterfly? Yeah. Okay.
They could. Now, butterfly would be like that,
There you go. Yep.
but we're not going to use that like that. We're just going
Right.
to use the pocket.
Gotcha.
So, okay, so I'm going to remove these from the area and quickly wash my hands. Well, actually, no, because I'm still going to be working.
Yep. There you go.
So, not yet. So then I'm going to take about half of the stuffing and put it in one chicken breast and kind of spread it. Okay. Which is good. And then we're going to take the rest and put it in the other. Okay. The spoon might work a little better. And then you just spread it around. And again, it smells really good. Okay. A little more over here. And then make sure I get all that wonderful stuffing. There we go. I'm going to get rid of that. And then we're going to close it up. Okay. Now, here's where the wrapping comes in. Now, you could close this with toothpicks, but I'm going to wrap it with bacon because, hey, who doesn't like bacon, right? So you're going to wrap it around, and it will be 2 slices per chicken breasts. And you don't even need toothpicks. You see how that's nicely coming together right
like
there?
That. Yep.
And all you do is place it in the pan so that when this all cooks, the bacon is going to hold it together.
So I see that you chose 4, so that's 2 for each breast.
Exactly.
I like bacon. Can I use 6? Can I use 8?
Absolutely. You could use 8.
All right. Just checking. Asking for a friend.
It's always good. It's always good to, look out for your friends. Okay. And here's the other one. Okay. So here I'm going to wash my hands now. So 2 seconds here.
So yes, just like everything else, the type of cutting board that you use, you're not using a porous cutting board like a wood one with chicken, and you're washing your hands because raw chicken, you don't want to mix with any of your other food. Even though you're cooking all the food, you never, ever mix your raw chicken with anything else.
Absolutely. Never.
Never, ever, ever.
Ever. I'm going to turn on my fry pan, get this a little heated for my next dish.
And you're using a little deep skillet for the next dish, right?
I am. And I'm going to turn this around because I need this.
There you go.
For my Pluots later on.
Excellent.
Now, we don't need to oil this or spice the outside because the bacon's going to provide the oil, the moisture, and the flavor. Okay, right. So that's going to be beautiful. I'm going to put this in.
Does that go with the
400 degree?
Whereabouts on the rack? Is that at your top? Is that your center? Whereabouts do you put it in the oven?
Definitely the top.
Excellent.
And I'm going to put this on for 40 minutes. Okay. And that, my dear, is bacon wrapped, stuffed chicken breasts. So perfect.
Nice and easy. Nice and simple.
Nice and simple. And then what we have here are the ingredients for the stuffed portobello mushrooms. Now, from from one of my appreciation gathering dinners for the police and the firefighters in
Yep.
Hopkinton. Shout out to them. Love you guys. I did make stuffed portobello mushrooms. And when you're making a stuffed dinner, you have to include them.
Right.
Now, this is a different recipe. So, if you want to check out what that recipe was, go to the website, check out the recipes.
Yep. Go to hcam.tv/The Gathering and all the shows that are there. You look for, I think that was our second appreciation dinner because
That's right.
I was not there for that one because I had to work. And and the recipes are right there. And just like most of her recipes are on the website.
Do you remember what the first one was?
Yes, that was the Louisiana one,
Yes.
the Creole
Jambalaya.
jambalaya. Yes.
That's right.
I was actually there for the preparation that day.
That's
as
right.
well as emceeing the event, which I
That's
was
right.
honored. And thank you for having me do that. That was a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Great turnout.
Absolutely. So what we have here are 2 portobello mushrooms. And what I did was I removed the stems and you scrape out the gills because you want to make a nice little section for the stuffing. I have 5 ounces, is it 5 or 7? Maybe 5 or 7 ounces of sun-dried tomatoes.
7
sliced,
ounces.
I think it was 7, 5 ounces of baby spinach,
Correct.
1 medium onion chopped, and a tablespoon of olive oil because I just put the other teaspoon in the pan.
Right.
And what we're going to do is we are going to, and I'm going to kind of take a paper towel, okay?
Yep.
And I'm going to just kind of brush on the bottom of the mushrooms, and I'm going to put them gill side down, and I'm going to put these in the oven for 10 minutes, okay? So this will roast, as you can see, very nice, for 10 minutes, and they're a great size. These will go on the lower rack. And 1/4 past, okay, 25 past, we'll pull those out.
All right.
So now what I want to do is I want to add the onions to the fry pan. And you can hear that. I don't know. Now you can hear it.
I can hear it now. Absolutely. We have some new
Can you-
technology. You're wearing a nice lavalier microphone that you're coming in nice, loud, and clear. And
I
we
am.
we get to hear all the little scrapes and sizzles.
I am. Absolutely. So put a little light on there. Now I added the onions, and I'm just going to saute those until they're translucent. Depends on how you like them, but they will cook further because once we stuff the mushrooms, they're going back in the oven.
Okay.
Okay, so we get that going. Here's our beautiful baby spinach and sun-dried tomatoes. Now, I love sun-dried tomatoes, don't you?
I do too. I love them on a salad. I love them in any kind of gravy. Sun-dried tomatoes are just the best.
I know, they are, truly. Nothing beats a quick pasta sauce with spaghetti, olive oil, garlic, a little bit of onion, and these.
I love the color that it gives, like even a white sauce or a clear sauce.
Absolutely.
It just adds a little color to the plate, and the flavor is just fantastic.
It is. So when I saw this recipe, I thought because we've got the cheese going on with the chicken breasts, we've got cheese going on with our salad. I wanted to keep the mushrooms just with the baby spinach, onions, and sun-dried tomatoes. Because you don't want too many flavors going on a plate. So that's my take on that. Okay, so this is good. I'm going to add my sun-dried tomatoes,
Okay.
and I'm going to get those a little nice and soft and incorporated with the onions, which is really beautiful. We have to try and set up a camera mic over the stove so you
Well,
can see.
Terry, as this continues and as we are able to be together somewhat, we will be picking up the quality and adding that situation. Absolutely.
That's awesome. I'll tell you, because it's just a beautiful sight
Yep.
to see
Yep.
things
Well,
simmering.
yeah, it'd just be nice, that's, if you listen to the Hangout Hour one time when we're talking as an HCAM team, one of the biggest things that I miss the most is working with our volunteers like you. I mean, we come in and sit down and, I mean, great, you do the show on a Saturday yourself, but you usually come into the studio on your Wednesday nights and edit, and I work with you there. I miss those interactions with our volunteers, and I just can't wait to pick up the production. Like, for instance, people at home aren't going to notice, but we got your new microphone today that you sound
Yes,
fantastic. And
baby steps.
right, and it was just something that I could just leave on your doorstep when you weren't home. I just dropped it off. You're able to hook it up and go, and that's how once we're able to, and the rules get lifted, we'll be able to come out and add a little bit more quality to the show. And the quality
Absolutely.
is like right now, you're working off a laptop camera. I love to
That's
have you
right.
work off a TV camera like I'm working off of now. It would just
Yep.
make it so much better.
Actually, I do have a separate camera
Right.
attached to the
That's
laptop.
correct.
So that was an addition that you helped
Yes.
me get. I'm
And
now going to add the spinach.
yeah, and the spinach. And it looks like a lot of spinach, don't it? When it goes into the pan?
Yes. Now it might it might look like a lot of spinach, but it's going to wilt, right?
It's gonna wilt, yeah.
It wilts down. And this is only 5 ounces. So
Yeah.
it's a good amount.
Yeah, you're right.
Yep. And spinach is so good for you, right?
Absolutely.
Just ask Popeye.
I was just gonna say, just ask Papa. You took it from me.
Yep. Okay, so we're going to let's see, we've got 5 more minutes on roasting the portobello mushroom caps. And this is good because I'm going to turn this up just a bit and get this going. And I don't know if you can see this.
There it is. Yeah, looks
Yeah.
good.
And again, it smells beautiful.
That's the only part. That's the only part we can't get out to the viewers is how good everything smells. We gotta keep telling them.
Smell-o-vision.
Smell-o-vision.
Yeah. Yep, that works. Oh, and you can see that took no time at all to wilt down whatsoever. And it's so good. It's so good.
And you don't need much time on spinach.
No, look. There you go. Right? Christmas colors. So 4 more minutes. I'll check on them, see how they're doing. That's good. That's good. And I can smell the bacon.
That's the part I'm missing right now is the smell of the bacon. I enjoy that.
I know.
That is one of my staples for breakfast in the morning is bacon.
And speaking of breakfast, we're going to be doing one show, Breakfast for Dinner.
Who has not had and who has not loved breakfast for dinner?
Oh, God, I know it. I know it. And just everything that goes with it, right?
And it could be anything. It could be whether it's just French toast and sausage. It could be pancakes with, bananas and strawberries. It could be eggs and bacon. It could be any omelets. It could be anything. Yeah.
Sunny side up, steak and eggs. Although
Sure.
I do have to say, one of my favorites, all-time favorites, is Eggs Benedict.
Oh, me too. Hollandaise sauce
Oh,
is just incredible.
with home fries, side of bacon. Even though you have Canadian bacon, you can never have too much bacon.
Always, there's no such thing as too much bacon.
That's right. That's right. Okay.
Yeah,
This is
I've been getting good at learning how to poach my eggs. I bought a device to do it in the microwave, and I
let
found
me
out I
tell
can
you,
do it better in
Mike,
my own pot. I can do it better in my own pot.
very simple, very simple. You can do it in a fry pan with some water, a little bit
Yep,
of vinegar,
yep,
and you take one of these, right? You put the egg
yes,
in it and just drop it in the water. You can do
yeah,
it that way. You can microwave it in
yeah,
in one of these, you
sure,
know, add a little water, your egg, and it poaches. I mean, there are so many different ways to poach an egg,
right.
right?
Yeah,
But you can't beat it.
microwaves. It's an art. It took me about 3 different tries to find out the right temperature of the microwave and the right time on it. It comes out nice, but there's still nothing like doing it in a pot and scooping it out with this slotted spoon and dropping it on there. That's the best way to do it. But yeah,
Yeah.
there are methods. There are.
So this is done, and this is beautiful. I have to say, smells great. Now I could eat this just the way it is. I could eat this just the way it is. And as you can see,
Perfect.
it is beautiful. I don't think I need this. Okay, so now to this, God, you could do anything with this. Throw a couple of scrambled eggs on it. You have a frittata, right? Talk
Exactly.
about breakfast. Bacon on the side, home fries, toast, you're there.
Yeah, you can stuff that inside an omelet. You can do anything to
Oof.
that.
Yes. Very good. Okay, so it's 25 past. I am going to, oh, and these are beautiful. Here are the mushrooms, and I don't know if you can see.
It's good. Yeah.
You can
And
hear.
they don't shrink up that much, do they?
No, not at all.
Good.
And what you're going to do is you're going to flip them over, right? And then
Oh
you're
yeah,
going to fill them.
I got a little note from Bob, who's working the controls in the back. It says there's nothing like corned beef hash.
Oh, yes,
Can I have that corned beef hash?
absolutely. So we are going to stuff each mushroom with this beautiful stuffing, right? And I'm not so sure how much you can see, but I'll tilt the pan in a second so you'll be able to see that. And you can make this a little messy. It doesn't matter because
You're just gonna plate that, and that's
exactly, you're
that's
going to
good.
plate it, and then you can always go back and eat the leftovers, right?
Oh, of course.
So here,
Those
I
are
don't know
well
if you
stuffed.
can you see
Well
them?
stuffed to me, absolutely.
Okay. Now these are going to go back in for 10 minutes. So let me do that. Okay, that's good. We have 26 more minutes with the chicken.
Yep.
Let's see. Turn that up just a bit. And then I'll get rid of this. And then it's on to our stuffed plouts. Now you were asking about plouts, right?
What is a plout? Help me
A
out with
plout. Here is a plout. Now, I don't have a zoom camera, so you can't really
yeah.
zoom in, but there are polka dots on this.
Okay.
And this is a hybrid fruit that was created in the late 80s between a plum and an apricot. Okay, so think about that for a minute.
Plum and apricot. There it is right there. PLU for the plum and OTS for apricots. I
Yep,
get it. I
there
get
you
it.
go. There you
Here's the
go.
answer. I was gonna go ahead to look it up and Google it, and I said, you know what? I want to hear Terry's explanation of it, and you made it so much simpler than I could ever imagine. Thank you for that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, the flavor is intense.
Yes.
It is no bitter taste whatsoever. It takes the sweetness from both those fruits and combines it. So it's 3/4 a plum, 1/4 apricot.
Now, is that a seasonal item, or can you get
It
that off?
is. It is mid to late summer.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Now I know. Thank you.
Now you know. And so what we have here to stuff the Pluots with, we have chopped almonds, chopped apricots, and fresh orange juice. Now, is that kind of like apricot in a Plout, which is from an apricot? That just kind of hit me. I don't know. Is it kind of like, you know what I'm getting at?
I know what you're getting at. Yeah.
But we're not going to go there. And then for the sauce, we're going to have a pool of yogurt that's going to be flavored with orange rind, little bit of orange juice to water it down.
Yep.
And then we have mint, fresh mint to garnish.
Excellent.
And it'll be a wonderful taste. So what I'm going to do is you want to cut the Plout in fourths, okay? And spread it open. And this might be, you have to take care, right? Because you don't want to really break it.
Uh-huh.
But you can see, right, with a little bit of prying, it does open up to be like a flower.
So there's no core to that at all, like an apple.
No. So you take out, and I have to do this.
Oh, you got to clean them off. It's a pit.
Oh my God. It is beautiful.
So is that a pit that you cut around?
Exactly.
Okay.
So pit from the plum, right?
There you go. Sure.
There you go. And then we'll do this again. Cut it around. And then kind of with your spoon or whatever, ply it open. We know me, I'm not the most delicate person, right?
No, but I'm just glad you put the knife down. Yes.
I know. I know. I know. I
Hey,
know.
we still have tomatoes to get through.
Well, there you go. I think those are already done.
Okay, good.
So I need to take the knife to this to get this pit out because this is being a little stubborn. And here's the thing. You can see this Plout kind of fell apart, but you're able to just shape it back in, right?
Are they going
Are
to be in their own plate or their own bowl?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. They will be on their own plate. So this will work fine.
Excellent.
Okay. So I'm going to put this
So
over
not
here.
all Plouts are created equal. Some will give you a hard time and some will be easy to take the pit out.
That's right. So at the
Okay.
gathering, you're going to learn how to do it either way. So right now I'm going to make the pool of yogurt. So here's plain yogurt, which when I grew up, my grandmother always had yogurt in the house.
Same my
And
dad.
it was always plain, never flavored.
Yeah, it was always Colombo. That's all we had. That's all I ever knew was yogurt, was Colombo yogurt.
Oh, yeah. And totally loved it, right? I
Yeah,
mean, plain by itself.
he liked it because it was owned by an Armenian woman. So
Ah, there you go. So I added the orange rind, okay? And it's kind of soupy, but I think I'm just going to add a little bit more orange juice for a little more intense orange flavor. And I bought the big navel oranges
yep, yep.
for the rind and for the juice. And of course, I ate the pulp. Can't let anything go to waste, right?
There's
So
nothing like
here,
fresh squeezed orange juice.
I know, absolutely. So here, we're going to make a pool, okay,
Yep.
on a wonderful plate. And you want to make sure you have enough because when the plout gets on there and the stuffing, you're going to want to sop it up with this yogurt sauce. That's beautiful. Now I do have to take a taste. Marvelous. That was beautiful. Let me get these out of the way. Okay. Now we're going to make the stuffing. I just want to clean this up like they do in the restaurants,
Oh,
right?
yeah, you gotta have a clean plate. It's all about presentation.
There you go. So for the stuffing, we're going to add the chopped almonds. Now, I chopped these myself in my food processor,
Okay.
and I hand chopped these apricots. Okay, you want to mix that up a bit. And then what you're going to do is you're going to add the 2.5 teaspoons of orange juice. And this will kind of meld it together. So the orange juice in the stuffing is going to complement the orange rind
Sure.
in the yogurt sauce.
Or as like people have to call it, the zest.
Yes, that's right.
Zest.
And so here's the nice stuffing here, right?
Yep.
Then we're going to take the plout, put that right in the center. Okay. And they are, as you can see, they're very delicate.
Yeah.
So you just play with it. And as you can see, it's perfect because your guests are going to be able to get a bit of everything
Absolutely.
on there, and they won't have to go crazy.
Right. They'll be able to manipulate everything with a spoon instead of like a spoon and a knife to cut things up. Everything is just going to fall apart nicely for them.
That's right. Now you can see this kind of molds, right?
Yep. Yep.
So you want to mold that and put it right in the center. Okay. And I have to taste it. Really good. Really, really good. So a little more. And over here. Okay. How's that?
I tell you, it looks fantastic.
Is that beautiful?
You know, a little bit of we got 3 different types of texture there. That must you know, forget about the flavors, just the 3 types of texture going on at the same time too is great.
Absolutely. And your mouth is going to have a beautiful party with that,
Absolutely.
especially when I put the mint on it, right? So you take your fresh mint and you just sprinkle it on the sauce and on to the plout. And there you have it, stuffed plouts.
Nice, simple, and easy.
Right. Now I'm going to check. Oh, chicken looks good. Oh my
Well,
goodness.
let me ask you a question. If I made the stuffed plouts ahead of time and put them in the refrigerator, would that affect the stuffing at all?
Not at all.
So I could go ahead and cover that with some saran wrap, chill it, get it out of the way. So I could do that like first thing in the morning and then come home later at night, just do my mushrooms and chicken
That's
and
right.
just pull that out when we're ready to eat dessert.
Yep. And your guests will be so impressed. They'll go, where did you ever come up with this idea? And what the heck is a plout?
Yeah. First off, any of my guests would be impressed if I showed up with any kind of dessert.
It's like, wow, get out. It's a plout.
Get out, it's my plout.
Shout out to the plout.
Oh,
Get out.
We go on all night with those puns.
Oh, please. I know. So we're going to put these over here for the moment.
All right.
And then, right, what do we have left?
Oh, the thing that I'm looking forward to the most is the cheesy stuffed tomatoes.
Now, why would that be, Mike? Why are you looking forward to that?
I love tomato.
Okay.
As a child, growing up in Malden, in Everett area, in the Italian neighborhoods, all the yards were all connected with fences, and everyone had a gate to everybody's yard. Because usually when people were away, neighbors would take care of each other's gardens. Well, as a child, we used to go visit those gardens, and we used to pick the tomatoes, and of course, we were stealing them at the time, and we'd run to a place and we'd just eat the tomatoes. And tomato is probably my favorite fruit of all vegetables.
It is. And you talk about city kids. I was a city kid. And you're so right, because when you're in the city, it's not like you're out here and
Right.
it's plentiful all over the place. When you came across a cherry tree in Chelsea, we had a cherry tree
Cherry trees, yeah.
that hung over our driveway. We'd sit on our garage roof, pick the cherries. You know, a lot of times people think city kids don't have it good. We did, right? And
Absolutely.
you found the fruit, you found the fun, you made your fun.
We made all sorts of fun. We made our own, because don't forget, we were told too when you got up in the morning, get out of the house.
Yes,
Don't come back until dinner time.
yes.
Don't, and then after dinner, get out of the house, get back in here when that street light comes on. That was all the same. My neighbor, we had the Lauriers next door. We grew up in a triple decker in Malden that my parents owned.
Yep.
And next door, single family house, the Lauriers, they owned a gas station. And they had the swimming pool. So they were like the cool family to hang out. In
Yes.
their front yard, which mind you, their front yard was 5 feet from the house to the sidewalk, 5 feet. They had the most beautiful peach tree in the front
Ooh.
yard that bloomed every year, the best peaches ever.
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
Yeah. So it's great to be able to get some of that fresh fruit when you're in, you know, concrete and asphalt city jungle.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what we have here for our cheesy stuffed tomatoes, we have 2 beefsteak tomatoes. And what I did was I cut the top off, reserved it, hollowed out the tomato, strained the pulp and the juice, got the seeds out of there. So we have tomato juice here from the tomatoes. We have the pulp from the tomatoes. I have 2 anchovies chopped. I have 2 teaspoons of capers. Actually, the recipe calls for 1. I have a little bit more because I love the capers. And 2 tablespoons of chopped scallions. And the star,
Yes.
Brie cheese.
Yes.
And so these tomatoes are going to be stuffed with the Brie cheese with all of these accompaniments. So what I did with the Brie cheese, you take the rind off.
Yep.
And that was it. And then it's room temperature, so it's pliable, okay? So right here, as you can see, right, you just want to kind of pull it apart. It's still nice and soft. Are you a fan of Brie cheese?
I am.
Oh, love it, right?
Absolutely.
In Paris, you would get I know it sounds trite, but it's so true. You get a baguette, you get a chunk of Brie and some wine, and you're just passing time in
That's right.
between meals.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's a snack. Wine
yeah,
and Brie. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So you add all of the ingredients to the Brie. Okay. And the tomato juice and the pulp is going to give it a nice flavor. You have the onions, you have the anchovies for the saltiness, okay?
Right.
Now with the capers, you have some of the salt with the brine, but not like the anchovies. Now, here's a tip for the anchovies. If you don't like how salty they are, you want to soak them in milk for 2 minutes and then rinse them off and dry them off, and then they're good to go. And that takes a lot of the salt out of them.
Wow.
I would never do that.
That's interesting. Yeah. For something like that, I'm not an anchovy person. You'll never see me put one on a pizza. As a teenager growing up making pizzas and all the anchovy pizzas I had to made, I couldn't stand it. But the flavor that it gives, I mean, just your basic Caesar dressing and your the flavor that it gives something. So I was really excited to see that you had two chopped up anchovies. I said, with everything else, I knew this was going to be some fantastic flavor,
Oh, yeah,
and I
truly.
hate anchovies.
The
Just
portobello mushrooms are done. As you can see, they're on the stove. They're going to rest.
okay,
The chicken's looking really good. The bacon's crisping up. And what is going to go with these cheesy stuffed tomatoes are baby green lettuce. Okay.
okay,
And this is this beautiful by itself.
sure.
Look at this baby greens.
That's practically a meal right there.
Exactly. And it's beautiful. I wish you can you hear it?
Right? We can hear it.
Can you hear how crisp these lettuce leaves are? They're just beautiful. And so you can guess where the tomatoes are going to go, right?
Yep.
They look a little like fiddleheads, don't they?
Yeah, they sure do.
Yeah.
There's nothing like good spring salad.
Oh, man, I'll tell you. This is beautiful. So there's that. And we have the stuffing. And the stuffing, I don't know if you can see this, but this is all nice and incorporated.
Yep.
And you can just imagine the flavors when they all come together like
Right.
this. Okay. So we're going to take our stuffing and stuff the tomatoes. Now, how cool is this? So when you hear you're going to have a stuffed dinner, right? Look at all the different things we're having tonight.
Right.
And it's not overpowering. It's not I mean everything goes together well,
Sure
I
does.
think.
And this here alone, like you said, this here could be one whole meal by itself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And especially if you're entertaining, right? The presentation is beautiful. So not only do you have the flavors that are out of this world, the presentation is just something else. So you want to take your tomato, put it in the center of the greens. Now, for this, you can lean it or you can top it. Okay.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
But that could be however you want to do it. Get this out. And then, oh, looking good. We've got 5 more minutes to go on the chicken. Get these out of the way. And we have to make the dressing.
Yes, all about the dressing.
Yes. And so the dressing, as you can imagine, because we've got a lot of flavors going on in the tomatoes, very simple. 1/4 cup of olive oil. We have 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar and a teaspoon of sugar. Very simple. Your simple Italian dressing, right?
Way too easy. In
Okay.
the 50-year-old Tupperware salad dressing mixer.
That's right. My trusty salad dressing container. Okay, so, and what you're gonna do here, can you guess what's gonna get the dressing?
Oh, it's going to be the lettuce.
Ta-da.
Why,
Ding,
why,
ding, ding. What do we
yeah,
have
why
for
would-
him, Johnny? We have a stuffed tomato for him.
I'm thinking with all that flavor that you just stuffed in that tomato, the only thing that needs some flavor is going to be that lettuce.
That's right. So you gingerly drop it on the greens. Okay, is that beautiful? Okay, so that's really nice. Smells delicious. Okay, so here's our dessert. Here's our salad. And then I'm going to put these plates out because I'm going to put the mushrooms on the plates. I'm going to plate this dinner. And look at that. Okay.
Oh, those are huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And then 2 minutes. It's looking pretty good. Bacon is crisp. What I want to do is see if the juices run clear.
Yep.
And they do. You always want to make sure the juices run clear. And that's perfect. I'm going to shut off the oven and bring this over to the plates.
So that's a nice little trick to tell people about is how you want to make sure that the juices are clear, because where you had to fillet the breast using a thermometer is not going to help you,
Right,
because you're not going to get a true temperature anywhere.
right. So, how do you like that?
Wow.
I know. There you go. And then there is some extra little sauce we can put off to the end. Just a little. Dabble do ya. And whew,
I was gonna say,
another
must be
beautiful
getting a
dinner.
little warmer there, because you did have that oven at 400 tonight.
Exactly, exactly. So here we have our wrapped stuffed chicken breast, bacon wrapped stuffed chicken breast, stuffed portobello mushrooms, cheesy stuffed tomatoes, and stuffed Pluots.
So right now we're at 50 minutes, and you had a
I'm
little.
ready to open the wine.
Yeah,
I'm
you
sorry.
already you already had your prep work done. So, what would you estimate? 10 minutes between prepping the tomatoes and the mushrooms.
Yeah, very quick.
Okay,
Very quick.
so that's very
Absolutely.
quick. Right. So you're looking at doing the. Wow, that was the first time we got to hear the pop.
There you go.
There you go. You can thank Jim for the new microphone,
Thank
and
you, Jim.
you get the pop on there.
Thank
So
you, HCAM. I would never think to get it. So there you
well,
go.
this here is a true 1 hour meal uh, through everything, with the exception of maybe preheating the oven before you start. So
And look, 8 minutes to spare.
yeah, so that's great. Now, where did you pick this meal up? Is this something you've done before? These separate things, or
I cannot tell a lie. We've all stuffed chicken breasts, right?
right? Oh, sure.
And wrapped it in bacon. I've made the stuffed portobellos before. Plouts, I've never done. So when I saw the recipe, I was like, that's that.
There you go.
And then the cheesy stuffed tomatoes. I mean, how it works for me, I sit down with a bunch of cookbooks, I go through them, and whatever strikes me with what I like, that's what ends up on the menu. And you can tell if it's gonna all go together. Now, if I was serving this at a dinner party, you could sit down, this would be your appetizer, and you sit down and you could sit with this for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and have a nice conversation with your guests, right?
Sure.
Because that's a lot of food right there. And then you go to your dinner. And again, you've got two healthy, for the most part,
Sure, well,
items for dinner that again you can sit and enjoy with your guests or your family, right? And then the dessert, right? It's like perfect. So I look at it and I think these things would go together pretty well. What do you think?
I think so too, because there's many, many flavors, and you know that I'm not a big mushroom fan, but overall, I mean, just the flavors in the tomato, the textures on the stuffed plouts. Uh, it's a wide variety, and you can stuff chicken and wrap it in bacon. You can stuff anything in there, and I'm probably gonna eat it. 'Cause
Exactly.
who's not, and especially the bacon part. So. Uh, you have just on the main dish alone the textures between the chicken and the mushroom. You
Now the
know,
chicken, you've got, as you can see, the cheese is all nice and soft and runny. That's going to be your sauce for the chicken, right?
absolutely. Yeah.
Right. And then the sauteed ingredients for the stuffed mushrooms. I mean, it's just a wonderful accompaniment
Yeah.
to the chicken breast.
Oh, without a doubt, you definitely really outdid yourself tonight. It was outstanding. Yeah, like I said, it was so easy. There wasn't a whole lot of work to be done.
No,
You
it's simple. And that's the thing. You prepare a meal like this for your family, they're going to feel like royalty, and they are. Your family is royalty.
that's right. It's
They're
all about
your
the family.
royalty. They're your royals, and they deserve the best. So that's how I look at it. And yeah, that's how we roll, right?
So what kind of wine did you choose for tonight?
White Zinfandel.
White Zin.
I am going to toast HCAM, woohoo, because I'm taking a sip. And
So
it's
now,
wonderful. And I have to say, being away from this for a month, it's so nice to be back. And it's so nice to have everything come together and to share it all with you and to, again, give thanks to HCAM because you allow me to project my dream and my vision through this show. So there's nothing better. And so while the month off was great. I truly missed being here. And
Right.
now we're going to be here every other week.
So every other week we're going to be back. Yep. So next week we'll have a rerun playing on television and so forth. But we will have new stuff in 2 weeks. What do you get in mind? Anything that you can tease us with?
I can tease a little bit what's happening in a couple of weeks. I would have to say the end of summer, right?
End of summer.
End of summer. So our next show will be an end of summer dinner. That will be our next dinner. And they will be all my favorite foods from the summer. But I have to admit, I don't just eat these foods during the summer. I eat them year round.
Right.
But they're going to be for that dinner. And it'll be a special time. So I hope you can join us.
Oh, without a doubt. And like I said, yeah, you do the seasonals. Like we had the dog day dinner, and
Yeah.
everything because it was hot that day. I was, even though the air conditioner's on, I was still dying because it was a very hot summer.
Yep.
And myself, even on summer days like that, I can still eat soup. A lot
Oh,
of people say,
yes.
"Oh, who can eat soup?" I says, "I love soup." And it's like
Absolutely.
I can eat that all year round. But yeah, that's a fall and winter thing.
But here's the thing. Do you like chilled soup?
I first time I ever had chilled soup was when you made me gazpacho,
Okay.
and
Well,
that was
let me
unbelievable.
share with you on the vineyard a lot of restaurants serve chilled soups and they're beautiful. They're
Yeah.
just beautiful. So yeah, I didn't get to do that this summer, but we'll do it. We'll have a chilled
Oh,
soup.
I'm sure we
They're
got
great.
plenty. We got plenty of time for that.
Yes,
We got plenty
absolutely.
of time as this continues on. So
Yeah.
we will be back 2 weeks from tonight. Uh, I'll be here. I think I'm here 2 weeks. Yeah, I should be here.
Good,
And
good, good.
Bob will be here. Bob running controls. You can always thank Bob to
Yes,
put
thank
us
you,
on,
Bob.
put us
Truly,
on the
truly.
air together.
But
And
I have to tell you, Mike, my friends reach out to me who watch and they say, we love watching you with Mike because you both back and forth, back and forth.
well,
Perfect
Terry,
co-hosts.
it's helped that I've known you for about 30 years, so that that makes things a little easier.
I know.
You know,
It does. It does. I won't lie.
which is outstanding.
Yeah.
So good job tonight. We're going to say goodbye to everyone. We will see you next week. And I remind everyone, tune in tomorrow at 2 o'clock for the Hopkins Hangout Hour, where we're going to have Board of Health, Sean McAuliffe, and Board of Health Director Sean McAuliffe, and Town Nurse Casey Morrow give us an update on all things COVID. So
Awesome.
with
Awesome.
that,
Well, speaking of COVID, everybody stay safe. Here's to HCAM. We love you and thanks for joining us tonight.
excellent.